We're always on our digital spaces. So make sure it is supportive to you and not something that is a channel for overwhelm, for comparison, for doubt, and especially for false urgency.
Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become.
Hello and welcome to episode 255 on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me today and pushing play on today's episode. This week, we have been continuing our theme of decluttering and focusing in on our digital spaces. We are clearing the noise of our digital spaces to help us become, because our digital spaces can be a silent place that is heavy and overwhelming and full of false urgency. So I want you to think of your digital spaces as real spaces. And that might initially feel like, but they're not. Like, I close my laptop and it's gone. However, when you are on your laptop or when you are on your phone, they tend to suck you in as if you are in a completely different space. We have all either been the person or been trying to talk to the person who is completely engrossed in whatever tech they are looking at, right? They are physically in the same room as you, but mentally and even emotionally not there. You know they're not there, or maybe you're the person and you are totally dialed into whatever it is you're reading or scrolling or watching, and you're not actually in the physical room that you are in your head and in your emotions, which is really interesting. So when you start to treat your digital spaces as real spaces, physical spaces, then you can really see how intentional you need to be about clearing out the noise and decluttering these digital spaces as if they are physical spaces. Your digital clutter is an invisible weight because all of these open tabs that you have, all of the red bubble notifications that you have, they are open loops. They are things that you either feel like you need to get to it in a very real, like, oh, I need to look at that. I need to finish reading that. I need to finish sending that email, or I need to respond to blah, blah. And you feel that very real pressure and that very real urgency. Or they're mental loops, as in things that that was the thing that I was going to buy, but now I'm kind of waffling on it and I don't know. I'm not confident enough that I'm not going to buy it. So I don't want to close the tab, but I'm not confident enough to actually buy it. So even if you don't feel the pressure, it still represents an unmade decision, an open mental loop. And that contributes to overwhelm, to feeling pressure, to having that false sense of urgency of all of these things that you need to do, all of these things that you need to take care of, all of these things that need your attention. But the majority of that, like I said, is false. If you have 14 tabs open, likely you don't need all of them to be screaming at you at once. And they seem so benign, right? They're just there, they're just hanging out. It's supportive to have them open for you. It's not. Because every time you look at it, it takes you away from what it is you are currently working on, currently trying to do, currently focused on. When I record these podcasts, I deliberately open the tab with the program that I use called Riverside, and I pull the tab out from everything else and I maximize it to cover the screen. So I'm not seeing incoming texts. I'm not seeing all the other tabs. I'm not seeing my email. I'm not seeing any of that stuff that could distract and pull me away from the work that I am focused on doing. Digital clutter, this is a great segue into that, also encourages reactionary living. If I had my text messages open on my laptop while I'm recording and something comes in, I am tempted just automatically to glance over at it and to see who said what did they send, who's reaching, like even if it's just, oh, who texted me? I am tempted to have that reaction rather than stay focused. The notifications train urgency rather than intention, and intentionality needs space and silence and stillness. So you have to cultivate that space, silence, and stillness in your digital world with silencing notifications, with going on focus, with clearing out your inbox of stuff that you don't need, with closing tabs and trusting that if you need that article, you'll be able to find it again. Just the other day, as one of my efforts to clearing up my digital spaces, I just went and I bookmarked a bunch of things. I was like, okay, I might need this someday, so I'm just going to go ahead and bookmark it, because then I've got it and it's not an open mental loop. It's not an open tab. It's not something that I have to look at and see every day. It's just, it's there if I need it. And someday when I go through my bookmarks, I can be like, I don't know why I saved this, and I can just unbookmark it. Easy. So there's something that you can try out if you are one of those people who has 100 open tabs. And here is another really important thing that you may not consider when it comes to your digital spaces. Your attention is forming you. What you give attention to automatically grows and expands. So, this is easy to see when people are on weight loss journeys and they have so much attention to what they eat and how much exercise they're getting and all of that. This losing weight, their weight loss journey is taking up a big portion of their attention, because they know that if they don't give attention to it, if they're not tracking things, if they're not being mindful and intentional, then they're not going to lose the weight that they want to lose. So when you have a project that you want to complete, the only way that it will move forward is if you pay attention to it. So a way that you can really cultivate your digital space to support you is if you are writing a book and you have, like your document open in a tab, and you have your book outline open in a tab, and your resources open in a tab. When you come to your laptop, seeing those tabs open is going to reinforce to you that you are on the journey of writing this book, that you are on the journey of having this accomplishment. And it's going to remind you, hey, let's sit down and focus on this right now. Let's put some more work into this so that we can get to the goal. So it's not necessarily about closing all of the tabs and having just blank space. Maybe you need that. Do that. But it's having your digital spaces support who it is you are becoming so that your attention is directed intentionally. Because what you focus on grows and expands, and that affects your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions. So if every time you came to your laptop and you see the tabs that support your book writing, it's going to reinforce to you that you are becoming an author, or you are making that book happen. You are on your journey to publishing it. All of that is going to reinforce who it is you want to become and the accomplishments that you want to have. Too much input from social media, from news sites, from Amazon, from whatever, too much input crowds out your self-trust, your problem solving, and your creativity. So while we do need some input, right? Like we need places that we can go to brainstorm and think up ideas, having too much of that is actually a hindrance. And I think that this is really a big problem that we come to when we're trying to become who it is we want to become, when we have a goal or achievement that we want to experience. We have all of these inputs on things that we quote unquote should do or aspire to. We see what everybody else is doing and we can get pulled off of our course. We can feel like they've got the right way and they know what they're doing, rather than cutting all of that noise out, being still and silent so that you can hear what your path is, so that you can hear what's calling to you. Because you won't know what's calling to you by filling all of your time with other people's noise. You won't know what your brilliant ideas are if you're so fixated on other people's ideas. You won't know the next version of who you can become if you're so focused on who everybody else is and what their journeys look like. Because we are all so unique and so individual with our own gifts, our own talents, and our own callings. We also have our own person that we are meant to become with our own unique journey to get there. And you're not going to find the direction and guidance that you need for that path outside of yourself. And if you are continually looking outside of yourself for that guidance, for that direction, it's going to drown out your own internal voice and your own guidance, as well as crowding out your self-trust. So, as you approach your digital spaces, which is sometimes even harder than physical spaces, I invite you to do so with the intention that your digital space, your phone, your computer, your iPad, whatever it is, your digital space is supportive to who it is you want to become. The big takeaway here is that your digital space commands a lot of your attention, and whatever you place your attention on is what is going to grow and expand. So if you spend a whole lot of time on social media and it makes you feel like crap because it makes you feel like, oh, there's all this pressure and there's all this comparison and all of this overwhelm and blah, blah, blah. Or if you open up your laptop and open up your 4,000 emails and you're just like, okay, well, this is just too much. I'm just automatically overwhelmed. None of that is actually supportive to who it is you want to become. It's all just noise. It's noise. And this noise is crowding out the opportunity for that space, for that silence, for that stillness that you deserve to have as you become who it is you want to become. Because truly, the only way you can step into who it is you are meant to become is by having the space and the silence and the stillness to have the clarity on which direction to go, what actions to take, what to create, what to do. And you're not going to get any of that outside of yourself. When you look at your digital space as a place where you put your attention, know that your attention is an extremely valuable resource that we often just give away without much thought. We give it away on our screens without even thinking about it. We give away our attention and our time, these non-renewable resources. So when you look at it that way, decluttering your digital spaces becomes a lot more important. We're always on our digital spaces. So make sure it is supportive to you and not something that is a channel for overwhelm, for comparison, for doubt, for and especially for false urgency. Your attention is extremely valuable. And if you place your attention on who it is you are meant to become, the final piece I have for you on this is that you get to control your digital spaces. Do not allow your digital environment to control you. Step out of reactionary mode and into intentionality. Be intentional with how you curate your digital spaces and what you give your very valuable attention to. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be in your email tomorrow with an exercise to help you wrap up this week. I totally love you. Bye for now.